Hey everyone, this is Dwight with Bikes and Blades, and today I've got a knife block that I want to talk about. Normally I talk about knives, which are kind of more fun and everything, but if you acquire a certain number of kitchen knives, pretty soon you need a place to store them. And so I got this Kapoosh knife block. It's a little different. It's kind of multi-purpose, right? I could have gotten like Boker Saga, the kitchen knives I've got. They make a purpose-made block that goes with those knives. And I thought about getting it, but the thing is, I don't just have the Boker Saga kitchen knives, I have other ones too. So I wanted something that I could put different knives in, different types of knives, without having specific size slots or particular number of slots. Because some of the stuff I've got is really unusual. Like I've got a knife that I made here, which is, I don't know if it's a cleaver or what you want to call it, but different kind of shape. It's unusual. It's not like other typical knives. And the knife count, kind of goes up and down. Sometimes I have more, sometimes I have less. Just depends on what I have in here at a given time. So the nice thing about the Kapoosh knife block is that it's made up of all these little fibers. It's basically like monofilament pieces that come up like hairs in this canister, and then you can slide your knives into it. And so, pretty much any kind of knife can just drop in there, and it doesn't matter where you put them. You can mix them up, put them in different locations, and it works really nice. Kind of clever. And this thing comes in different decors too. Like they've got, this one's a stainless. I think they have wood colored ones, different shapes. I went with this because it kind of matches some of my appliances, and it's just sort of, a style I like. So I want to talk about, what I like and what I don't like about this. I do like the fact that it's adaptable. You can use it for a lot of different knives. That's cool. It has two sections. There's kind of like a lower section here and an upper section. They're independent blocks of those monofilament fibers. The upper section's a little bigger, the lower one's a little smaller, so I've got like, some steak knives and a letter opener down there. And then the upper one I've got more of my larger cooking knives. So I'm going to pull all these out here and kind of show you how this thing works. Alright, so you can see it's basically made up of all these endwise little fibers that the knives drop into. So when you put a knife in here, it just drops right in, which is kind of cool. Now, the downside of this is that when you get a lot of knives in there, it does get tighter. It starts to get kind of tough to put them in. And some of my bigger knives, like this big chef's knife, or whatever you want to call it, Santoku, sometimes it has to hang up on the fibers, especially if the fibers start to get kind of tilted or turned sideways, which they do after a while of putting stuff in and taking it out. Like, for instance, they kind of hang up on stuff every now and then when you're putting it in, just because those are all a bunch of random little pieces of monofilament. But, I'll say too that sometimes when you put knives in there, it'll snag those little fibers and cut off pieces, and you get little tiny bits of plastic that show up on the sides of your knives. And I don't know if I can show you any right now, but you'll see little bits of black plastic that show up around them. Not much, just a little tiny bit like dust. So to clean this thing, it's kind of cool. You just take and tip it, and the core just drops out, and it's got it's all tied together to the base, so it's one piece, and the whole thing just comes right out like that. And then you can kind of shake this out or rinse it if you need to. I don't know why you ever get it that dirty, but if you got it really filthy, you can kind of rinse it out. So now I'm going to show you. Here's what I mean by the fibers kind of turning sideways. I hope you can see, the camera will focus and you can see this. But here's one that's kind of got bent over, right? And once they're bent over like this, then a blade going in tends to hit that and snag on it. So what I've been doing is basically pull those guys out to the side and then trim them off if I get one that's problematic. So like, for instance, this one here, I'll just knock it off down here where it's still straight. And eventually, this knife block's going to get, it's going to lose a lot of these little things and probably become less useful. But at the same time, like I say, it does get tight when there's a lot of knives in it, so if some of the fibers get cut out, probably not the end of the world. One thing I found that really helps to keep this thing working well is to come in here with like a butter knife or a letter opener and just kind of comb it. So if yours starts to really get jammed up and you can't get knives into it, just come in here like this and sort of sweep through the fibers. Right there I snagged one that's turned a little bit diagonal. And see how it's folded over? These guys will eventually, block the knives going in and out. So again, these are ones that I need to trim. But in general, you kind of go through, and after a few passes with a little butter knife or a letter opener or whatever you have, the top of the block starts to look more organized and it shows less of it. Like right now you can still see some imprint where the knives were. But if I do this a few times and kind of sweep through here, that kind of breaks up and the thing starts to look more, brand new again. So if you've got one of these and you want to refresh how it works and make it feel nice and smooth again, if you give it, give it a nice coating, it should come back. So there's that. The lower one also drops out of here. Just give it a little shake, comes right out. This one's much shorter, and I haven't had nearly as many issues with the fibers. In fact, none really of these guys getting folded over. So there you go. But again, if you want to just sweep this thing, it does kind of tune it up again. So there you go. And here actually I found one. Here's one that's bent over. So I think when the blades go in, occasionally it catches something endwise, or maybe there's just a certain number of bent fibers just out of the box. And so yeah, like I say, I just get rid of those guys. Anyway, other than that, I think I really like this knife block. It's pretty cool. It's different. It's a good solution, to storing unusual knives or kind of a mix of knives if you don't have a set of the specific block. This works really well. So yeah, there you have it. Would I get it again? Yeah, sure I would. Is it the perfect thing? Probably not. But it does also have the advantage of not having your blades hanging out like some of the magnetic strip type knife blocks. If you put your knife on there and you're working, you could easily cut yourself. So this block's not a bad way to go. Anyway, thanks for watching. I hope this helps if you're looking at buying one of these things. I think it's pretty good. It's not perfect, but it's pretty good. Thank you.